I want to start by saying something I mean completely. I'm glad you're here, not in a scripted, hollow kind of way. I mean it in the way you mean it when someone you love finally shows up at your door after a hard week. That kind of glad. Because if you found this video, something in you is still looking for the light. And that matters more than you know. Maybe life has felt heavy lately. Maybe you've been carrying something, a loss, a fear, a worry that follows you from the moment you open your eyes in the morning to the moment you finally, exhaustedly close them at night. Maybe you've been going through the motions, getting up, getting through the day, lying awake, starting over, and somewhere in the middle of all of that, you've started to wonder if you'll ever feel like yourself again. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to give you something real, something small enough to start today, something that, with just a little consistency, can genuinely begin to shift the way your mind works and the way your life feels. It's called gratitude journaling, and I know, you might have heard that word and felt a little tired just reading it. That's okay. I'm not here to hand you a list of affirmations and send you on your way. I'm here to walk through this with you, step by step, like a friend sitting across the table with their hands wrapped around a warm mug. So let's talk about what's actually happening in your brain right now. When you've been through grief, or loss, or prolonged anxiety, your nervous system gets stuck in a kind of survival mode. Your brain starts to scan for threats automatically, not because you're broken, but because it's trying to protect you. It becomes very, very good at noticing what's wrong, what's missing, what could go wrong next. And over time, that becomes the lens through which you see everything. Not because you're a negative person, but because your brain has been trained by pain, by hard seasons, by things that weren't your fault, to look for danger first. Here's what the science tells us, and I want you to hold on to this. Your brain is not fixed. It is not set in stone. There is this beautiful, hopeful thing called neuroplasticity, which simply means that your brain can form new pathways, new habits of thought, new ways of noticing the world. And one of the most powerful, most accessible tools we have for doing that, for actually rewiring the brain with gratitude, is exactly this: a small, intentional, daily journaling practice. 5 minutes. That's all we're asking for. Not an hour of meditation, not a perfect morning routine, not a journal that costs $40. Just 5 minutes, a pen, something to write on, and a willingness to try. This is the 21-day gratitude challenge I want to invite you into today. And here's why 21 days specifically. Research suggests it takes somewhere between 18 and 66 days to form a new neural habit, and 21 days is enough time to start genuinely feeling the difference. Not perfection, just a beginning, a noticeable, real, tender shift. So let me walk you through the actual ritual. This is what I want you to do every single day for the next 21 days, ideally in the morning. But if evening is what works for your life, that's perfectly fine too. You sit down, you take one slow breath in through your nose, and you let it out through your mouth. Just one. You don't need to make it complicated. Just one breath that says, I'm here, I'm present, I have 5 minutes for myself. Then you open to a fresh page and you answer 3 simple prompts. That's it. 3 prompts. The first one is this: what is one small thing I noticed today or yesterday that made me feel even slightly better? And I want to emphasize the word small, because when we're in pain, big gratitude can feel almost offensive. Someone telling you to be grateful for your health when you've just lost someone you love, that lands wrong, and rightfully so. So we start small. The smell of coffee, the way the light came through your window for just a moment, a text from someone who was thinking of you, your own breath, still steady in your chest. These things count. They count enormously. The second prompt is this: what is one difficult thing from this week that I am, even reluctantly, beginning to accept? This is where the practice gets a little deeper, because gratitude journaling for manifestation isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about finding, slowly, the places where you're still whole, the places where growth is quietly happening even when you can't see it yet. Maybe you're beginning to accept that healing isn't linear. Maybe you're beginning to accept that you can't control what someone else does or feels. Maybe you're just beginning to accept that today was hard, and you got through it anyway. Write that down. That is strength. The third prompt is this: what do I want to feel more of in the next 24 hours? And what is one tiny thing I can do to invite that feeling in? This is the forward-looking piece. This is where law of attraction journaling becomes less about magic and more about intention, about training your brain to look ahead with hope instead of dread. Maybe you want to feel more peaceful, and the tiny thing is taking a 10-minute walk without your phone. Maybe you want to feel more connected, and the tiny thing is texting one person to say you're thinking of them. Small, specific, real. Those 3 prompts, written honestly, take about 5 minutes. And what you are doing in those 5 minutes is genuinely remarkable. You are interrupting the brain's default pattern of scanning for what's wrong, and you are deliberately, intentionally building a new pathway. One that scans for what is survivable, what is still beautiful, what is still possible. And I want to be honest with you about something. The first few days might feel awkward. You might sit there and think, I can't think of anything. Or you might write something and feel like it doesn't count, like it's not enough. Write it anyway. Write it even when it feels small. Write it even when it feels forced. Because the writing itself is the practice. The act of looking, even imperfectly, is the thing that rewires the brain with gratitude over time. Around day 5 or 6, something starts to loosen. You might notice it in a quiet moment. A flash of something that almost feels like peace. A second where the weight feels slightly less. Don't rush past it. Notice it. That's it working. By day 14, some people find themselves noticing things throughout the day. Little things they want to write down later. A funny thing their child said. A song that made them feel something. The kindness of a stranger. Your brain is beginning to look for those things automatically because you've been training it to. And by day 21, not for everyone, not all at once, not perfectly, but for many people, something has shifted. The world doesn't look different. The circumstances may be the same, but you are different. The lens has changed, and that changes everything. These are the gratitude journal prompts spiritual teachers and neuroscientists alike keep coming back to, not because they're complicated, but because they're honest. They meet you where you are. They don't ask you to pretend. They just ask you to look a little longer at what's still here. Now, I want to bring you to the part of this journey that I think matters most. I want to give you permission to let something go today. If you've been carrying guilt about not healing faster, let that go right now. There is no timeline you're supposed to be on. There is no version of grief or recovery that has a deadline. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are moving through something hard at exactly the pace that is right for you. If you've been carrying the weight of all the things you can't control, the future, someone else's choices, the outcome of something you've been praying about, let that weight down. Just for right now. Set it on the floor beside you. You can pick it back up if you want to. But for this moment, you don't have to hold it. If you've been telling yourself that gratitude is for people whose lives are easier than yours, let that story go. Gratitude is not a reward for having a good life. It is a tool for surviving a hard one. It was built for people exactly like you. People who are still standing after something that tried to knock them flat. You are still standing. And I want you to feel that for just a second. You have been through something, or you're still in the middle of something, and you are here. You picked up your phone or opened your laptop and you looked for something to help you feel better. That is not weakness. That is one of the bravest, most quietly courageous things a person can do. So I want you to take one more breath right now, in through the nose, and slowly, slowly out. And as you breathe out, I want you to imagine releasing one thing, just one, that you've been gripping too tightly. It doesn't have to be the biggest thing, just one thing. Let it go on that exhale. Good. That's yours. You did that. Before I let you go, I want to gently bring you back to the room, to the light around you, to your own body in this moment. You came here for something, and I hope you found even a small piece of it. A little more hope, a little more direction, a little more sense that you're not alone in this. Here's my question for you, and I really want to know, what is one small thing, honestly, it can be the tiniest thing, that you are grateful for today? Drop it in the comments below. Don't overthink it. Just write the first thing that comes to mind. Because here's what I've seen happen in this community. One person writes something small, and someone else reads it and thinks, yes, me too. And that moment of recognition, that tiny flash of not being alone, that is its own kind of healing. This community we have here, the people who find these videos and sit with them and show up for themselves, they are some of the most tender, courageous people I've ever had the privilege of being around. Stay with us. You belong here. You are not alone, and you never have to do this by yourself. If this video helped you even a little, please share it with someone who might need it right now. A friend who's going through something hard, a sister who can't sleep, someone in your life who's been carrying too much for too long. Sometimes the most loving thing we can do is quietly pass along something that helped us. And if you want to go deeper, if you want access to a free healing journal, more guided practices like this one, and a community of people who genuinely get it, come find us at dealerofhappiness.org. Everything there is free, and it was built with you in mind. And if this is your first time here and something about this felt right, felt like a voice you want to come back to, I would love for you to subscribe. New videos come out regularly, and every single one is made with you in mind, with your hard nights and your brave mornings and your beautiful, resilient heart. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself today. You deserve that.